Chapter 9. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? I didn't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Besides, I said he had a headache. And the reason Snap doesn't lick Harry now is because he's Christian, and Vampire is a Satanist. MCR rocks. I was so mad and sad. I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. Then all of a suddenly, a horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose, basically like Voldemort in the movie, and he was wearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't Gothic. It was Voldemort. Genius. No, I shouted in a scared voice, but Voldemort shouted Imperious and I couldn't run away. Crookshanks, I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him, even though I'm a sadist, so I stopped. Ebony, he yelled, thou must kill Vampire Potter. I thought about Vampire and his sexar eyes and his gothic black hair and how his face looks just like Joel Madden. I remembered that Draco had said I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with Vampire before I went out with him and they broke up? No, Voldemort, I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. No, please, I begged. Thou must, he yelled. If thou does not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco. How did you know? I asked in a surprised way. Voldemort got a dude you're so retarded look on his face. I hath telekinesis, he answered cruelly. And if thou dost not kill Vampire Potter, then thou will... Then... What the fuck? Then thou know what will happen to Draco, he shouted. Then he flew away angrily on his broomstick. I was so scared and mad I didn't know what to do. Suddenly Draco came into the woods. Draco, I said, hi. Hi, he said, but his face was all sad. He was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner, kind of like a pentagram between Joel Madden and Gerard Way, I don't know. Are you okay, I asked. No, he answered. I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me, I expelled. That's okay, he said, all depressed, and we went back to Hogwarts together making out. Chapter 10. Author's note. Stut it, you gay fags. If you do not like my story, then fuck off. P.S. It turns out Bloody Mary isn't a muggle effort, all and she and vampire and evil, that's why they moved houses, okay. I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset. Went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band, Bloody Gothic Rose 666. That's amazing. I am the lead singer of it and I play guitar. People say that we sound like a cross between Good Charlotte, Slipknot and MCR. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire, Draco, Ron, although we call him Diabolo now. He has black hair with blue streaks in it. And Hagrid. Only today, Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming, and we wrote songs instead. I knew Draco was probably slitting his wrists. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a CROSS, there's no way I'm writing that, or a stake. And Vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. I put on a black leather shirt that showed off my boobs, and tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not. We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the end of the song I suddenly burst into tears. Ebony, are you okay? Bloody Mary asked in a concerted voice. What the fuck do you think? I answered angrily. And then I said, well, Voldemort came and the fucking bastard told me to fucking kill Harry. But I don't want to kill him because he's really nice, even if he did go out with Draco. But if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will fucking kill Draco. I burst into tears. Suddenly Draco jumped out from behind a wall. Why didn't you fucking tell me, he shouted. How could you? You fucking poser muggle bitch. I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran out crying. We practiced for 1 more hour. Then suddenly Dumbledore walked in angrily. His eyes were all fiery, and I knew this time it wasn't because he had a headache. What have you done? He started to cry wisely. in brackets. C, that's basically nut swearing, and this time he was really upset, and you will see why. Ebony, Draco has been found in his room. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists. Chapter 11. Author's note. I said stop flaming up preps. See if this chapter is stupid. 11111. It deals with really serious issues. SPC for yourself. It's stupid by BRW. Thanks to my friend Raven for helping me. Not nice. No, I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her to fuck off. And I ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased after me shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he would look like a perv that way. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood, and then I slit both my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily while I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a stake and I almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and I put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it, sandly. I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked around the window and screamed, "Snap!" while spying on me. And he was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masticating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. "Ew, you fucking perv, stop looking at me naked, are you pedos or what?" I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. Suddenly Vampire ran in. "Abracadabra!" he yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his womb. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming and the camera broke. Suddenly Dumbledore ran in. "Ebony, it has been revealed that someone has..." He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then waved his wand, and suddenly Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, "Everyone, we need to talk." "What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student." "I may be a Hogwarts student, Hagrid paused angrily, but I'm also a Satanist." The plot thickens. "This cannot be," Snape said in a crisp voice, and as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. "There must be other factors." "You don't have any," I yelled in madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly. "The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there." I felt faint, more than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood. "Why are you doing this?" Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak. Then I heard the words that I had heard before, but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked or happy or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint. Because, Hagrid said, and he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air. Then he then swooped he in, singing the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. "Because you're gothic?" Snap asked in a little afraid voice. "'Cause he was a friend. It meant he was connected to Satan. Because I love her." Chapter 12. Author's note. Okay, stop F-ing. Okay, Hagrid is a pedo. To a lot of people in American schools are licked at. I wanted to address the issue. How do you snap a ain't Christian, plus Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay? I was about to slit my wrist again with the silver knife that Draco had given me in case anything happened to him. He told me I would have to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must both go together. No, I thought it was Hagrid, but it was Vampire. He started to scream, "OMFG, no, my scar hurts." And then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. "How did you know?" "I saw it, and my scar turned back into the lightning bolt." "No." I ran up closer. "I thought you didn't have the scar anymore," I shouted. "I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation," he said back. "Anyway, my scar hurt, and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me!" Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him in bondage. Christ. Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office, now recovering from my slit wrists. Snap and Lupin and Harid were there too. They were going to St. Mango's after they recovered because they were paedophiles, and you can't have those fucking pervs teaching in a school with lots of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the Sidio camera, and they took of me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. "Enderby, I need to tell you something," he said in a serious voice, giving me the roses. "Fuck off," I told him. You know I fucking hate the colour pink anyway. This is the same day that she's wearing a pair of boots with pink metal things on them. You know I fucking hate the colour pink anyway, and I don't like fucked up preps like you, I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before for being gothic. "No, Enderby," Hagrid says. "These are not roses." "What, are they goths too, you poser prep?" I asked, because I was angry that he had brought me pink roses. "I saved your life," he yelled angrily. "No, you didn't," I replied. "You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton pee video made from your shower scene and being viewed by Snape and Lupin, who masturbated to it," he added silently. "Whatever," I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. "These aren't roses." He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, "Well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say." "That's not a spell, that's an MCR song," I corrected him wisely. "I know, I was just warming up my vocal cords." Then he screamed, "Petulous merengo me cremically author's note, for all you cool gothic MCR fans out there, that is a tribute, especially for Raven, I love you girl. Imo notto okeo." Yeah. And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air, and it was black. Now I knew he wasn't a prep. "Okay, I believe you. Now, WTF is Draco?" Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. "You see, Enderby," Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. "To see what is de flames, you must find yourself first, okay?" "I have found myself, okay, you mean old man," Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache, or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back into his bed. "You are a liar, Prof. Dumbledore." Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs to put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. There was some corset stuff on the front. Then I put on black fishnets and black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. I put my hair all up around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring. If you don't know who she is, you're a prep, so fuck off. And I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner and black lip gloss. "You look kawaii, girl," Bloody Mary said sadly. "Fangs? You do too," I said sadly, but I was still upset. I slit both my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and I sucked all the blood. I cried again in the bathroom, and I put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magical creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. "Hi," he said in a depressed way. "Hi back," I said in a qually sad way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had a beautiful red gothic eyes, so much like Draco's. Then we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. "Stop it now, you horny simpletons," Professor McGoggle, who was watching us, and so was everyone else. "Vampire, you fucker," I said, slapping him. "Stop trying to screw me. You know I love Draco," I shouted, and then I ran away angrily. Just then he started to scream, "OMFG, no, my scar hurts," and then his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. "No!" I ran closer. "I thought you didn't have a scar anymore," I shouted. "I do, but Diablo changed it to a pentagram for..." It's deja vu.